Hey guys, Az here today with another speed build for you all. Today's one is kind of like a family townhouse, I guess. And with this one, I had no plan. I was just like, you know what, I feel like building something completely random, so let's just do it. And I did. I loved, one of the last builds I did was the mid-century family home, the really huge one that took me ages to actually build. So this time I was kind of like, you know what, I really loved the shapes that I used in that one, all the different angles on like both stories. So I wanted to keep that sort of theme going, but then also I didn't really want to do it like that big. So I was like, same sort of style, different scale, you know what I mean? So that's what we are running with in today's speed build. And we didn't use the same colours either. Like I really wanted to start using some brighter colours, and I've seen a lot of builds just recently where other simmers have they've used red on the outside of the house, and I was like, I love that look, so we'll go with the red and white thing, and it's nice and bright, and it's a bit different from what I've usually done. So yeah, I was really happy with how this turned out as a whole. It is a family home, so there is 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, the downstairs bathroom and an upstairs bathroom, 2 kids' rooms, and of course the master bedroom. In all honesty, the master bedroom is a bit plain, a bit blank. There's not really a heck of a lot to it, but you know, you guys can personalize that when you get your own Sims in, so that's why that has been left. So, whereas the kids' rooms will be very personalised. One is for a little girl, a toddler, and the other one is for a child male. Yeah, child male. But of course, you know, they could be neutral. You could have a boy that likes the colour pink, or you could have a girl that likes dark blues, which is more likely. Not saying that guys don't like pink. Guys can like pink if they'd like to like pink. But it is stereotypically more likely for a girl to live in this toddler bedroom and a boy to have the child's bedroom. So yeah, so that's the sort of house that we're going with. But then again, it's easy to like switch those colours up. Now on this build, I played with this particular part here, the stairs, for a very long time. I just couldn't crack it. I kind of wanted to initially have like a looky downy part, whatever you call those, but I just decided in the end that it wasn't going to work how I wanted it to, so I was kind of like, you know, never mind, we'll work something else out. And we've got a few balconies upstairs as well, you know, not that they go very far, but yeah, that's sort of what we're going with here. The shape of the house I played with for a while as well, to be honest. I couldn't figure out. I always build like the shape of the house and then I'll come back to it and be like, I feel like I could have used this space a lot better, or I needed more space. So that's sort of what we end up doing, is lengthening the space out. And to be completely honest, this initial shape like isn't so bad. I wasn't so horrified by it. But I just felt like I could do better. So we moved upstairs around a bit more, I'm pretty sure. As well as downstairs, I needed more shape to the back side of the house, which is what we're doing here. And like with my mid-century family home, I used the same fence line, but I didn't think that was too much of an issue because it still looked good, and I was really happy with the end product, so that is what we ran with. Same with the pool as well. I'm pretty sure I did a pool and I fenced it in, like what I did with the mid-century family huge one that I did. But yeah, I think it turned out really nice. And I did for the first time ever, I made a toddler sandpit, which I was stoked about. That was a lot of fun to do. So yeah, but do I put the fence in right away? I'm not even sure. There was a couple of times where I left to put in a sim instead and playtest the lot for a while. So that you will see is what we are getting into in a minute, or shouldn't be too far away actually. Oh no, maybe a few minutes, maybe like 3 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. We'll have a sim in here ready to playtest. So rest assured guys, everything in this lot I have tested and I've made sure that it works, so no issues there. stoked about that one. But yeah, we are pretty much just about at the end of the shape of the house as a whole. I think we're going to start getting into the rooms in a minute. And the kitchen is the first room that I did. And about halfway through this build as well, actually, I went and I downloaded the toddler stuff pack, because I didn't have that initially, and it was kind of like, I don't feel like I need it. But then towards the end of the build, I was kind of like, you know what, it would look good if I had a slide coming into my sandpit. So that is what we ended up doing eventually. Yeah, I was really stoked with how it looked. And I'm loving pale floorboards right now, so especially those City Living, the really shiny ones. They're so cool. I love them. So that is what we use downstairs and upstairs, I guess throughout the entire house as a whole. And just trying to work out the shape of the bedrooms at the moment. I love using wardrobes as like cupboards, like in hallways as storage, you know what I mean? It really works. So that is what we have done with the wardrobe on the second story. So yeah, and of course I always start building homes and then I'm like, hang on, I don't have a bathroom. And then I have the little freak out. It's like, I need a bathroom, otherwise this isn't a proper house. It just has to have a bathroom otherwise. You sometimes can't go to the toilet. And then, what are you going to do from there? So we put a bathroom in. Thank goodness. We put 2 in. Yeah, did I say 3 at the start? There is only 2. There is an upstairs bathroom and a downstairs bathroom. And the parents do not have their own ensuite because it didn't fit. I didn't build a house big enough. But that's okay, because it is just a small family townhouse, which is fantastic. So yeah, at the moment we are working out the lounge, and this took me a while. I think I started trying to play with the table, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just not happy with how this is turning out right now. So the colours in the kitchen changed like several times, I believe, before we finally find one that we are happy with. So please bear with me there. And for the first time in a very long time, I'm not actually sure I put a mirror behind the stove. Or did I? Oh no, I must have. Surely, because I always put mirrors behind the stove. Yeah, no, I did. There you go. I thought I didn't, but I always do that. I just like having mirrors behind a stove because it fills a space, and it just works as a really cool backboard for a stove. You know what I mean? Like it works perfectly. So yeah, that is pretty much the kitchen. I think eventually I have stone in the background rather than tiles, because I couldn't find one that I liked for a very long time. So yeah, it just ends up being that exposed. What's that white brick called? I use it a lot. And here's me trying to figure out a different table colour as well, with the stone or tiles in the background, because I just couldn't find one that I was really happy with. I was like, yeah, this house is family friendly, but I'm not so sure I want to use those family stuff. That Parenthood tiles? Are they the Parenthood ones? I'm pretty sure they are. So I spent a while just trying to figure this whole space out. As a whole was kind of a mission, if I'm being completely honest. But I am happy with the end product. So yeah. Of course we had to have a toddler high chair in there because I was like, this is a family home. Other simmers love toddlers right now. To be honest, I do like them, but I was never super, super keen on them with toddlers because it was just another life stage. And I remember in Sims 3, I used to get real frustrated with potty training them, especially because you could only do that when they needed to go to the toilet. And even then it took forever to fill their needs bar. And I was like one of those perfectionists that was like, I have to have them fully able to talk, fully able to walk, and fully potty trained. And it just never worked out well for me. So they drove me nuts. Toddlers. But thankfully this one is not like that. I actually really like toddlers in The Sims 4. They're a lot better than they were in The Sims 3. I don't know, I'm just really stoked with what EA has done in terms of developing them, I guess. So yeah, here's me having left and come back to the game. I think my boyfriend had started playing Skyrim in between and had restarted the computer, and I was like, I just done so much, and then it didn't save. I was gutted, really annoyed at him as well. This is my baby, this computer. It's my baby. But yeah, so that's when I restarted, and I kind of knew where I was going because this is where I had the toddler stuff. And I'd already sort of done a little bit beforehand. Like I think I'd fully decorated the lounge and I hadn't saved it, and that's when I left the computer and come back to it, and it just wasn't all there. So I was annoyed, as you can imagine. But I wasn't too bothered, because it's like, it wasn't heaps that had gone missing. That whole space as a whole, though, has absolutely driven me nuts. You guys have got to give me some ideas for what you guys do in hallways, because I can never figure out how to decorate them to make them look, look like they belong with the rest of the house, look used. I tend to try and avoid hallways, to be honest. I love the whole open plan sort of living, where you walk straight into the lounge from the front door, and from the lounge you've got the kitchen with like island benches or dining tables, just, all that different sort of stuff. But no, I can just never crack it, which is frustrating, especially, hallways. Hallways are just the worst. So at the moment I'm working on the downstairs bathroom. I kind of wanted to use colour, well, not colour, but like a little bit of colour when it came to doing the bathrooms, because I was like, this is a family home. It's still going to look stylish, so we're not going to go absolutely crazy, because of the style that I was trying to achieve. But I was like, I'm not going to go crazy colour crazy, but I'm also not going to go like super plain. I've got to have some colour in there. So we had that little splash of blue underneath the shower, that Parenthood bath and shower combined, and you've got a little bit of blue, and this one here having the blue toilet, but it's still a dark blue, so there's like colour, but there's not dramatic colour, if you know what I mean, like over the top. And I had to throw in a little office space, because in all honesty, I do all my office spaces thinking of the social media career in The Sims, because that's such a fun career that I love giving my Sims. It's so easy and just so fun, and doesn't require heaps of effort, which is perfect for my Sims and my game playing. But I always do studies with that in mind. So desk, a TV, a computer with a few monitors, on the table, because you sort of need that thing when it comes to social mediaing. Bookshelves in the background, just anything for like a little space where your Sims can come and do social media stuff. It's always what I sort of have in mind when I design studies. Well, these days especially. So yeah, that is what we are going with in that space downstairs. And I'm loving those little puff chairs at the moment as well. They're just the best. As a whole, this study space was kind of awkward to work with, though. I feel like we pulled it off not too bad. I was just sort of trying to find things to fill the space at this stage. Like fishbowl. Yeah. And I couldn't decide on a car for like ages. I was like, what one fits but is like a family car, but like not too big, and that blue one that I had before just didn't really cut it. I was like, it doesn't really look like a real car, for starters. So yeah, and I thought about putting benches in the garage as well as like tool chests. Those red ones sort of remind me of tool chests, like what we had in Sims. Was it 2 or 3 where we had all that car stuff? I feel like it could have been 2. It could have been 2. And we threw a basketball hoop in as well, and that, I guarantee you, it works. Tested, play tested, good to go. I don't think I play tested everything in this build, so I don't actually know if you can use that microphone that's in the study. But yeah, I don't actually have a butt. I'm not actually sure if it works or not. Either way, no biggie. You guys can feel free to move it with the moo cheat. As per, that's probably the way to do it, actually. At this point, I think we are just about finished the downstairs. This is me sort of trying to figure out whether or not the hallway was how I wanted it to be, or the best that it could be, if you know what I mean. And then we come upstairs to do curtains, yay! And even then, I'm still not sure we kept those curtains, because I just wasn't happy with how they looked. No, I wanted the upstairs bedroom to be kind of glamorous, so we kept it simple. I think we used those, yeah, we did, the beautiful orange and greeny blue sort of colours. I love that bed. Those colours work so beautifully together, which is crazy, because it's like, it's orange and green. It's colours that you wouldn't normally use in everyday life. It's stuff that I definitely wouldn't, because I am safe when it comes to colours. I do not step out of my comfort zone very often. So the whole orange thing was, I really loved it, if I'm being completely honest. It was something that I chose and was like, okay, we'll stick with this colour theme, and we ran with it. So yeah, really stoked with how it turns out. And I used a few of the natural sort of tones as well with the orange. Green was sort of the one colour that I sort of stepped outside of my comfort zone with. And even then, like, it wasn't massively outside because we still had the browns, so that sort of brought the colour down a bit, toned it down, if you know what I mean, so it wasn't so vibrant in your face. And then I've had these flowers, flower pot, I don't even know, underneath the roof, because we had to have a little bit of greenery out on the parents' deck, a little bit of something. And moving on to the child bedroom, I played with this room for a while, I think, because it was a bit of an awkward space, and I was like, what can I do with this to make it look real natural, but then also look real cluttered, but fit everything in, like, you know what I mean? I think I came back to it because I forgot to put a desk in a dressing table in at one point. I'm not even sure I do actually put a dressing point in. At that point I was like, you know what, I've already done this room. There's no way that I'm actually going to fit a dressing room in. So there was really like no point in my head. I was like, oh, he can use a mirror. Your child can use a mirror if he really needs to. Thinking about it now though, there's probably like a really small sort of dressing table that I could have gone with, and that would have worked, but either way. And I love the colours of this room as well, blue and orange. They're just so vibrant. It's such a kid's room, in my opinion. And I love the new rugs. I feel like they came with that bowling stuff. Or was it a toddler rug? Honestly, I can't remember. But yeah, this is the toddler girl's bedroom. She's got some nice, beautiful blues and pinks, pastel-y sort of colours, I think. But also, very girly. So yeah, I changed this room around heaps as well because it's also a little bit of an awkward shape in terms of that toddler bed. I was like, okay, I want to have lots of toddler toys. And I also want to have nice spaces for the mum or the dad to come and sit and read to her, as well as, just lots of toddler stuff. There was a lot of stuff from the toddler pack that I wanted to throw in, that I didn't, I'm not sure I don't know, I just moved around the room a lot, and then at one point I was like, oh shoot, I forgot curtains, so I went back and I threw them in the kids' bed, the child's room, but as well as the little girl's bedroom too. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I love the colours in this room. I feel like if I was a little girl, this is definitely a room that I would want to chill in. So yeah, this is the point where I've decided all the items that I wanted to use in the room. It was just a matter of placement, I guess. And I moved the bed to be shielded from the windows, because it's kind of like, she's a toddler. She'll get tired during the day. She'll be put down for naps. It's good to be shielded from, well, not shielded, but block a child's view from all the fun toys that they could be playing with while they're, in bed. Or at least that's how I think of it. So that is what we have done with that divider right there. And I always find things as I'm sort of exploring build buy mode, then I'm like, oh, could I put this somewhere else? So I feel like that I've done that a couple of times in this case. No, maybe not. I might be wrong. But yeah, I played with the wall decorations in this room for ages as well. It was kind of like, do I want to have fairy lights? Do I want to have more of those skateboard artsy things? Do I want to have butterflies? And I think I stuck with the butterflies in the end. I was really happy with how I'd managed to get them to look. And I wasn't happy with the potting in the bedroom either, because it was kind of it's not really something. It's something that smells, if you think about it, if it's not sort of attended to right away. So for me, it's like, I don't really want the toddler's bedroom stinking like, baby poo. So we moved that out of the bedroom pretty quickly. At the moment, we're just sort of working on an upstairs sort of little space for the kids, mostly. This is a kids sort of upstairs space, sort of just out of the way in the hallway. I sort of think of you know, if you're a child and you want to go play on the PlayStation and mum and dad are watching TV, then you're not going to be allowed to kick mum and dad off watching TV to play PlayStation. So the parents can just be like, no, go upstairs, get out of our faces, play your PlayStation. So that is what the whole point behind upstairs was. Of course, I've got lots of like outside toys as well, but like if it's a rainy day or if it's nighttime and the kids want to play the PlayStation or entertain themselves, have a little bit of fun, then they've got a PlayStation upstairs as well. Of course, the better one is upstairs because that would be Dad's, and that's always how it was in like growing up for myself. Dad didn't have his own PlayStation, but he got first dibs on the good PlayStation, and the PlayStation 2. Was it 2 or was it 1? I don't know. The newest PlayStation was always in the main lounge, so you know that was where that was. And then we always got first dibs of the later model because you know it was in the family room, and you know we weren't going to annoy our parents playing on that because we didn't have to kick them out of the TV. So that is the whole point behind the gaming consoles, which is fantastic. At the moment, sort of just decorating the sandbox because obviously your kids can't play in the sand, which is really unfortunate. I feel like that should definitely be a thing. So instead we threw just a whole bunch of toys so that at least they can still play in the sandbox, but just not with the sand. And as you saw just before, we had the pool net and the life ring just thrown up on the fence. I'm not sure, but you might have to place the lot with the mood sheet on if you want to download it for, I guess, to keep it where it is. I'm not actually 100% sure, but yeah. I feel like now we're just sort of finding a few last minute bits and pieces and placing them because most of the decorating is pretty much done. But I was like, now this is a family home, so you've got to have lots of family stuff. So we threw instead of having that table in the kitchen where, you know, your kids can go and sit if they're in time out, they've got a creative table. So there's lots of like a whole bunch of kid stuff all over the place, which yeah, I'm happy with. And of course, garage is storage space, so I had to throw a whole bunch of storagey stuff in the garage that maybe isn't used so often. I don't actually know if that dartboard works. I'm pretty sure it does. Oh no, that was like the one thing that I forgot to play test was that dartboard. Damn it. Okay, so unknown if the dartboard actually works, but yeah, I'm hoping it does because, you know, your Sims can still throw the... Oh, it might not because they have to go and retrieve them as well, don't they? Okay, pass on the dartboard. I'm really not sure if that works or not, but it still looks cool, right? So, you know, that's a little bit of what we were going with there was the dartboard looking real cool. And at this point, I sort of had thought I had finished decorating my house, but then I stopped recording and went back to the front, and it was like, I'm missing a garden. I need something out here. So we throw in just a little last minute garden out the front just to sort of complete the lot a little bit more. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. Once again, I did forget one more thing. I think I just threw in a couple of basketballs, as you can see in the screenshots down on the right-hand corner of that garage just there. There's also one on the bush. Yeah, that is pretty much the end of this build, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. For me, it was a lot of fun to build, just a random little project that I decided to make up then and there on the spot. And I'm really happy with the end product, so I hope you guys like it as well. As usual, the lot can be downloaded from I'll put a link down below, or with the hashtag Azrnyx. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and thank you to all my new subscribers as well. There is so many of you guys now. And I just want to say I really appreciate all your guys' comments and your feedback and just your love and support. It's absolutely amazing. Other than that though, have a wonderful morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are in this big wide world. I really hope it's a beautiful one for you guys. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye guys.